So hi out there, especially to all of you who have recently subscribed to my channel and everyone else who has found me on YouTube. My name is Michael Jackman. I'm a musician, I'm a songwriter, and a poet as well. And I'm the lead guitar player of a band called Molly is Mutts. So today I want to give you sort of well, for you pickers out there, I guess we'll call it a lesson. Maybe we'll call it a lightning lesson. What I have found that guitar players, including myself, need to become more familiar with is the bottom four strings of the guitar. Mostly we become used to playing patterns on the top four strings. The center of the guitar gradually fills in our skills, but it's the bottom four strings that we have the most problems with. So one way to learn to do that better is to study and practice chord shapes. And there's something really interesting about the bottom four strings, which makes it different. So, as you know, if you tune the guitar, you tune to E, A, D, G, and those four strings happen to be tuned in what's called an interval of perfect fourths. That's not really that important if you don't know music theory, but what is important is to realize that since the strings all have the same intervals, then the chord patterns and the scale patterns that you play on those strings can be moved portably. They'll be identical. So, as an example, take your E chord. Every guitar player knows the E chord. It's one of the basic chords that you learn. Now, if you were to just play it, as I did using just the the fifth, fourth, and third strings, you can take that same shape, that little shape, and move it over two strings to the sixth string. Identical chord shape. And now what you have is a B chord. The E chord form that's over here, the fifth string has the B in the bass, which is the fifth of the chord. So if you were to flip it over and play it there, you have an F sharp in the bass, that's the fifth of the B chord. So B, E, B, E. Now, you know, so many songs have the three most important chords to make a sequence, which is the 1, the 4, and the 5. And there they are on the neck, right under your fingertips, the same exact pattern. So if you wanted to, for example, you could play something like this. Right? Well, knowing this allows you to find any major chord up and down the neck in any position. So how is this useful? Well, it can be useful in a bunch of ways. For instance, you'll notice that the E chord played on the fifth, the fourth, and the third strings is the same chord played up on the seventh fret. So suppose you wanted to, say, make a quick change so you can get higher up the neck and do a little bit of lead that was on the high strings, but you could play the same chord here and then on the seventh fret, and then you can do something like this, right? You're playing along. That way you can get your E position out there. Well, pickers, listeners, and friends, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. If you did enjoy it, please feel free to leave a comment. Subscribe to my channel. Watch more of my videos. I'd really appreciate it. It's time to go, so here's a little outro music for you, a tune that I hope you'll recognize from the old days. Do 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 do.